podcast party. Descent into Avernus.
My name is Hylan. In the corrupt city of Baldur's Gate, I'm part of a group of 4 people who share a dark secret. In the wake of a crime we committed together, Corbin, Ofelia, Renascence, and I were drowning our sorrows in a dive bar in Heapside when a messenger arrived for us. The message was from our mutual benefactor, Amric Van Thamper, who knows exactly what we did. Van Thamper has us under his thumb and is wasting no time in exerting his power over us. He ordered us to the Basilisk Gate, where we were to meet with Darman Zaj, a captain of the local mercenary police force, the Flaming Fist. Apparently, Zaj had a job for us. The citizens of Baldur's Gate are panicked due to the recent disappearance of the nearby city of Elturel. Renascence and Corbin helped calm the fearful crowd. Darman Zaj revealed the details of the mission. He offered us 200 gold pieces each if we can clear out a secret temple dedicated to the Dead Three, a trifecta of evil gods. The first step is to find the temple. To do that, we need to question a spy named Tarina at the nearby Elfsong tavern. We're on our way there right now.
Okay, so making your way to the Elfsong tavern. As you approach the Elfsong tavern, you see that it is still in what is technically the lower city, which is the more downtrodden part of Baldur's Gate. So you sort of peer through narrow alleyways and darkened streets, past rain-sodden and mist-laden individuals who sort of look at you askance as you wander into potentially a part of town that you may have never been before. Who knows? Actually, let's put it to you this way: have any of you frequented this tavern? Let's make it up on the fly. Actually,
Yes, I have.
I've been in once or twice. The place is supposed to be haunted. That's like the main appeal. But I think that's sort of a tourist thing.
yeah, you're right. The Elfsong tavern is in fact supposedly haunted by the spirit of, surprisingly, an elf.
Corbin has never been there unless he was there to help the downtrodden or something, which doesn't sound like this place.
I think Ophelia's been a few times. Perhaps not a regular, but she might know a face or two in there.
Yeah, this is near where I live, so I've been there quite a few times.
Okay, very cool. So you approach the Elfsong tavern by moonlight and are able to make out the front door, not by the door itself, but by the individual standing next to it, Skuna. Skuna is a half-ogre, what's the best word?
Bouncer?
Yeah, sure. Ogres are very particular about their looks. Not many people know about this, but half ogres will attempt to try to make their way into society, and not by their monstrous abilities, but by their ability to reason. And so Skuna, as a half ogre, is not necessarily a brute at all. She's actually kind of a well-spoken half ogre, but is employed, obviously, because of her massive size.
All right, Schooner. Busy night? A lot of people on the streets today.
Hello, Renascence. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Skuna.
Yes, Hylan. Pleasure to make your acquaintance once again. Are you entering the facilities?
Yeah, Schooner. Was wondering if you might point out a friend we're supposed to meet here. Tarina? I hear she likes the tables.
Yes, Tarina. She came, what was it? Perhaps 2-3 hours ago. I haven't seen her leave since, so she's clearly inside.
What's she drinking?
I don't know. I've been outside since the time she entered.
I say. Well done, Schooner. We'll just head on in, if it's all right with you.
Oh, no, of course. You're all over 21.
Have a good evening. Don't get too cold.
I don't feel the cold anymore.
The drinking age in Baldur's Gate is 21.
I mean,
It's basic health and safety.
Ren, before you go in,
Yeah.
I would like to give you a blessing.
All right.
So I touch Renascence and I give him a vigilant blessing. So if we need to roll initiative, you will now have advantage on that.
Ooh.
That's handy.
I'm bringing you guys to the front door, by the way. You guys are attempting to enter through the window, especially you, Ofelia.
sorry.
I don't know why, but that's impressive. Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe she did want to enter through the window. You don't know.
Hey, that's up to you. Okay, so there we go. You guys are now inside the tavern itself. And it's a busy night. You are able to see multiple people inside the tavern. All of you know the man behind the bar, the proprietor of the Elfsong Tavern, whose name is Alan Alith.
I give Alan Alith a nod, and then I scan the tables, see if I can see a likely gambling elf.
Okay. You can make a perception check, and I'll tell you what you see.
That is a 10.
You're not able to see anyone gambling actually here. Everyone is rabble-rousing and having a good old time, drinking, carousing, etc. You're able to sort of scan the area. You've been here before, though, Renascence, so you know the establishment. You know Alan. You know the two barmaids, Yimior and Falton, as they move to and from each table, taking orders and delivering them to the tables. You also happen to notice that as you passed into the Elfsong Tavern, you saw a suit of armor, which, as you passed by it, sort of moved its head in your direction. This is Clank. Clank is a suit of animated armor that was donated to the Elfsong Tavern long ago and has since that time been useful in stopping many a bar fight.
You all right, Clank? Keeping out of the rain?
Clank sort of gives you a thumbs up.
I return the thumbs up.
Ofelia walks up to the bar and addresses Alan Alith.
Alan turns and you see that he's a half-elf. He's got a sort of graying hair, which, considering a half-elf, he's probably pretty old, but his face is not lined with wrinkles at all. You estimate he's probably anywhere between 60 and 80 years old. Half-elves live a lot longer than humans do, but he's in good spirits. He says,
"Oh, hello, Ofelia. Nice to see you again."
Good to see you too, Mr. Alith. Could I please have a round of ales for my friends? There's 4 of us.
Of course, of course. We have a special on Elverquist wine, if you so
Oh, that
desire.
sounds so much better.
Excellent.
Alan,
Oh, yes. Hylan, I didn't see you there, of course.
hello. Nice to see you. Do you have any fish cuts for gregarious now?
Of course I do. I often don't give food to the companions of my favorite customers, but in your case, I'll make an exception.
She loves you.
I don't see her about, though, Hylan. Do you have her hidden up your cloak?
She's probably sleeping in the corner. I put a rectangle down. Did you know that if you put anything sort of rectangular shaped, a cat will always go on it?
This is news to me. I have to make sure that my tabaxi friends stay away from corners.
While this conversation is going on, Renascence sort of is strolling casually up the western wall, and he knows that he kind of knows the layout of the common room a little bit, and he knows that there are some private booths along this wall. So I'm just going to take a peek in to see if our contact is sitting in one of them.
Okay. The booths are actually empty. They have a lovely little scented candle in the middle of the table. It seems like Alan is trying to spruce up the joint a little bit. But beyond that, they are, without people.
Alan, have you seen Tarina here tonight?
He starts for a second at your suggestion. He says, may I ask why you ask?
Oh, it's just, a bit of business.
Feeling lucky, Alan, Thought she might be up for a game.
She's always up for a game. She's doing quite a good job at purveying her trade, so to speak.
Well, I hear these things go in streaks.
Well, let's hope her streak ends soon, at least for the business of my favorite customers, who probably wouldn't return if they knew that she was going to filch all of their well-deserved money from them.
Well, I'd love to help out Alan in any way that I could.
Well, you know me.
Actually, I would like to find out how much you know about Alan. Make a history check, Hylan.
Okay. Crit fail.
Oh no.
Alan keeps his backstory quite secret from you. So you don't know what he's referring to as he sort of winks at you. Maybe you can find out later about the backstory and or history of the famous Alan Alith. Maybe he'll be an NPC later in the campaign. Who knows? Hopefully he won't die. Anyway, he gestures to the staircase to the second level of the tavern.
Excellent. Let's go.
Yeah.
As you move across the bar, a strange, ethereal, ghostly voice begins to sing a very sort of haunting song. And as this voice, this female voice, begins to sing this song, all of the guests stop their carousing, stop their drinking, and just listen to it. It's beautiful. The song is just it's this ghostly, beautiful song. It's haunting, obviously, in more than one way. And you hear the song and are pretty sure that the rumors are true, that whatever spirit haunts the Elfsong Tavern, this voice belongs to it.
What are the lyrics of the song?
Oh, sing a song of Elturel, of water, woods, and hill. The sun dawns on her ruddy cliffs and fields green and still. This land of long-abiding joy, home of the strong and brave, renowned by all across the realms, and never once a slave. Oh, sing a song of Elturel when foes are at her door, her fields torn by cloven feet from some infernal shore. Arise, the mighty Hell Riders, take up your swift, keen swords, then charge into the hellish fray and scatter devil hordes. Oh, sing a song of Elturel, and when the night does fall, sleep safe beneath companion's light until the dawn does call. We're bound by mortal covenant that only ends with death, and so we'll sing of Elturel until our final breath. And after the song ends, everyone in the tavern looks at each other, as if this occurrence is shocking and new to them. And Alan sort of says something under his breath. I'd like those of you who are closest to them, that would be Ofelia, Renascence, Ofelia and Renascence, since you're probably closest to him. Make perception checks, please.
17 for Renascence.
4 for Ofelia. She was caught up in the song.
Completely. Renascence, you hear under Alan's breath, Gods,
That's a new one.
I take out a little thimble with a string and I spin it on my hand. It has 3 symbols painted on the top of it, very small. There's a halo, a skull, and a pair of horns. And it starts to spin, and I'm going to use my divine sense. If there is a celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of me, the symbol for the correct one of them will glow, and the thimble will raise off my palm a little bit.
Okay. You cast this spell and look at the thimble, and it does not move.
Tourists. I put the thimble in my pocket.
Okay. All of you did hear the song very clearly, but none of you, except for Ofelia, actually spoke Elvish to understand it. So Ofelia, hearing these words in the language that you obviously know, I would like you to make a history check, please.
Okay. That's a 15.
When the lyric about the Hell Riders came, probably around the second or third verse, something about it gave you the willies. It made your neck hairs stand on end. And when you attempted to try to figure out what the heck this meant about hell riders and singing of Elturel until their final breath and devils and covenants, you find it intriguing but are unable to determine exactly what it meant.
Do I know from, the melody of the song or the lyrics of the song, is this like an old folk song that I might have grown up with, or is it totally new to me?
It is completely new.
Ofelia, was that? I thought I caught a couple of Elvish words in there.
It was. She was singing about Elturel. Elturel and the Hell Riders and riding into hell. I have the strangest feeling right now.
I turn to Alan and I say, "You ain't heard her sing that before."
No, I can't say that I have.
I think we'd better talk to Tarina as soon as possible.
Do you think she'll know anything about this?
I don't know, but it's the only lead we have.
I suppose that's true. And I'm going to head up the stairs.
All right. So let me get a idea of who's going up to the second floor. I know that Ofelia is. Is anyone staying on the first floor?
No.
No.
Okay, so you guys wind your way up the stairs to the second floor of the Elfsong Tavern. And as you ascend the stairs, you begin to hear cheering and a couple of groans. And as you crest the top of the stairs, you turn to see a table in the middle of the tavern's second floor. And there are 3 people sitting around it. You see an older man with a grizzled gray and white beard who seems to be missing a few teeth. A perhaps middle-aged woman with blonde hair, and a half-orc who's wearing sort of fine-looking clothes. Off to the left are 2 individuals, a pale-faced man with long black hair that comes down to his shoulders. You also see a halfling with sort of curly locks. Both of them are sitting at another table. Also, off to the side, you see a dark-skinned woman wearing what seems to be priest's livery. And she's sort of watching both tables.
As an acolyte, I am fairly well familiar with the regalia worn by most of the local clergy. Can I recognize the vestments that she's wearing?
I'm going to do the same thing because, God thing.
Both of you make religion checks.
I got a dirty 20.
I got an 18.
Great.
Both of you are able to recognize not only the vestments, but also the symbol upon them. These are symbols of the god Savras. Savras is the god of wisdom and knowledge, but Savras is not often worshipped here in Baldur's Gate. Recently, there has been an enormous surge in popularity in the peninsula of Chult, far to the southwest.
Is this a good god or a bad god or a neutral god?
Savras is the god of divination and fate.
I look at the 3 people gambling at the large table in front of us. The woman closest to us is an elf?
Yes, she does seem to be either elven or half-elven. You're not quite sure.
I'd like to move over against the wall and see if I can just eavesdrop on the conversation at that table a little bit.
Okay, make a perception check.
A 14.
It's not hard to hear, to be honest, because they're all clearly upset as to who is winning this particular game. You don't see any cards on the table, but you do happen to see a set of dice, which are displayed prominently in the middle of the table. These dice are rather large, ivory-colored, and have not 6 sides, but 10 sides on them.
I see what you meant, Ofelia. Penchant don't mean cards, it means dice.
Not exactly.
Look at her rolling those
Never
penchant.
mind, It's
Like an expert.
I love playing dice. Do I recognize this dice game?
I would say make a history check with advantage. You've been around this place, and it's a Baldur's Gate deal. Yeah, go ahead.
That's a dirty 20.
Yeah, it's a game called Baldur's Bones. It's a very popular dice game amongst the riffraff, pirates and the like, criminals even.
So they seem to be fighting about if there might be some cheating going on.
It sure seems like it, based on the single person who is smiling at the table and the other three who are arguing quite loudly.
Remind us, Matt, who is smiling and who is arguing?
Absolutely. The woman with her back to you is sort of looking around the place, almost sort of gloating a little bit. She laces her hands behind her head, sits back in almost a Han Solo kind of way, and puts her feet up on the table. She says, "Listen, folks, a winner's a winner. I'm sorry, there's really nothing you can do. The bones speak for themselves." The man who's sitting across from her says, "Let me tell you something, Missy. Those are fake dice. I'm telling you straight up. There's no way you can roll 3 20s in a row." The woman says, "Now, just hold the phone here. Scrawldar, go ahead, take them for yourself. See that there's nothing wrong with the dice, please." He sort of scoops them up off the table and holds them close to his eyes. "Ah, fucking hell!" And he just throws them back on the table.
I say, Ophelia, you know that thing you did with Dodge? Can you do it with her?
Well, I could try. But perhaps we should just talk to her. She's right there.
I don't want to drop his name with all these other people around.
Oh, I see what you mean. Ophelia prepares to send a message to the person who she thinks is likely Tarina. And she says, "Tarina, may we have a word with you? We were sent by,
Zodge?
Zodge." Yeah, I had this moment where I was like, what is his first name? And I still don't remember it.
It's Darman.
It's a point of sorry. Some people think it's Darman, others think it's Darmir, but we're all in agreement. His last name is definitely...
Dizaj.
This cannot be the running gag of this campaign. I honestly
No, I don't want it to be.
Okay,
It's
good.
not good enough.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Okay. Ophelia sends a message to Tarina. "Tarina, we were sent here by Darman Zodge. Could you find a way to break from the table and bear a word for us?"
The woman who you assume is Tarina unlaces her hands from the back of her head, places her feet back on the floor, and looks around the room. She then notices the four of you who have entered from the ground floor, scoops up her 2 dice, and says to the 3 around the table, "Well, if you'll excuse me, there's a matter for me to attend to. It's been a pleasure playing with you." And then she gets up from the table and walks in the direction of Hylan and says, "Excuse me, was that you?"
It was me.
Oh,
Her face sort of shifts to the left and views you.
We're all here together. That was a pretty impressive game of bones, I take it.
"Oh, very lucrative." And she pats a pouch by her side.
Some people have all the luck. All of it.
We're hoping to have a word with you if you don't mind.
You're having one right now.
Is there somewhere quiet or more private that we can go? Or perhaps louder?
Well, if you would like to go downstairs, that would be louder, certainly. But if you prefer someplace more private, well... And she looks around the room and she says, "Well, there's an adjoining dining room. I don't believe I saw anybody in it. If you'd like to..."
That sounds perfect.
Yeah, so then just follow me then, yes? She sort of shoves past this half-orc and says, "Keep your hands where I can see them, Hall." And he just goes... As she passes by this sort of pale figure, she says, "Writing anything good, Ulrich?" And he says, "Not yet. I'm just pining." And he just sort of looks up and says, "No, that's a bad lyric. Never mind." "You'll get there one day, Ulrich." And then she opens the door to the room to the west and goes inside.
We follow.
Okay, great. Inside this room, you see a long table that seats 8. And at the east wall where Tarina stands, you see mounted on the wall ahead of what you can only assume to be some kind of strange jungle beast. It's massive with black fur and piercing yellow cat-like eyes. The only strange thing is that coming out of the back of its shoulders are 2 massive tentacles. If you would like, you can make an Arcana check.
Renascence got an 8.
Hylan got a 7.
Corbin got an 11.
Ophelia got a 5.
That's a big cat.
Yeah, none of you know what the hell this thing is.
Big snaky cat.
Tarina says, it's not a snaky cat, it's a displacer beast. They call this place the displacer beast. Never mind. Please, have a seat.
All right. With a scrape of wood, I pull a chair out and plop down in it.
Tarina takes a seat at the head of the table.
This is cozy.
So, you mentioned something about Darmanzaj.
Yes. He thought you might be able to point us in the right direction. We're looking to take care of some loose ends for him. Loose ends involving the Dead Three.
Her eyes widen when you say that. Oh yes, the Dead Three. What business would you have with those murderous malefactors?
I believe there will be some killing.
Oh,
Well,
killing, yes. Of, I assume, these people who worship the Dead Three, or of you?
The former.
It will be Ilmata's will who dies.
Anyway, need to know information, I assume, as to what?
We'd like to know where we can find them.
Well, that's just the thing, isn't it? It seems like everybody's just coming to me nowadays to find out information about these people. Just a few days ago.
I lean forward. You had other inquisitors.
Oh, yes, there was someone, I can't remember his name. He asked me about these people a few days ago. I can't really remember. And she puts her hand on the table, palm up.
I'm sure that Zodge and his superiors in the Flaming Fist would be extremely grateful for any information you could spare about that gentleman. Remuneratively grateful.
She smiles and she says, "Oh, remuneration. I know that one." Her fingers sort of clench and unclench.
Hylan, Ophelia whispers, do you have any dice on you? Your own?
Yes.
Why don't you offer to play her for the information?
My friend Ophelia seems to want to see a dice game. I don't know if she's ever seen a game of bones before. Shall we indulge her?
At this moment in time, I can't say I desire to play with someone who I just don't know might be cheating me out of my well-earned gold.
Are you scared?
Of you? No.
No, of losing.
Go ahead and make an intimidation check, please. She's actually going to contest that with insight.
I did get a 21 on the intimidation.
Ooh. Well, she got a 22, surprisingly enough.
Ooh.
I've lost enough in my life. I don't need to lose to the likes of you.
Don't you want to do what's right?
She just like puts her head back and just cackles. She's like,
I also laugh.
do what's right. Oh my god, you're a begbear. Begbear or bugbear? I can't tell.
Bugbear. Corbin kicks his chair out and walks to the other side of the room.
Ooh, testy, aren't we?
It's
Listen.
not wise to upset bugbears.
Listen, we can find them without you. We came here just to see if you had any information. We can cut you a deal. They'll pay you when we find the people and murder them. Otherwise, we'll just go our way and you won't get any money from it. Your choice.
Make a persuasion check off of that one, Hylan.
I got a 17.
Okay, I'm going to have her roll her insight off of that one. That's a natural 1. Tarina says, I'll tell you what. And she puts her elbows on the table and laces her fingers, and she says, you four look like the sort who could handle themselves, don't you think? I mean, after all, why would Zodge have asked you in the first place if he didn't think you could handle yourselves in a little bit of defensive maneuvers, yes?
Precisely.
Well, I've got a problem, and I've probably wasted too much time talking about it, but who knows? I don't know if you know who I am, but perhaps you, and she points at Hylan, know a little bit more than the others. You're one of my kind.
I nod.
Listen, I used to be part of a relatively well-known gang. one might call them privateers. They've blamed me for a lot of their bad luck, and, well, I heard a rumor that they're in town. Clearly they haven't found me yet, as I would be not talking to you, but stabbed multiple times through the face and body, but I think that it's very likely that they'll find me tonight. If you four stay here for the next, I say, maybe hour or two, nothing happens, I'd be more than happy to tell you all I know about where these dead 3 cultists are hiding. If, however, my friends show up, I expect you to help me. What say?
Hello, everybody. This show will be back in just a minute for the second half. We hope you're enjoying Podcast Party Descent into Avernus. This is the first ever actual play podcast from Cast Party. We are a group of D&D fans who happen to be professional actors, directors, artists, producers, and friends. We're also professional dungeon masters, and we're available to hire for special occasions, parties, corporate team building events, or anytime you need an adventure. Tal particularly likes to do kids' birthday parties, so feel free to call him for that. On his personal cell, I'll give you that at the end. Right now, we're running online games only. When we can, we host site-specific live D&D adventure experiences at locations in and around New York City. We also offer free online adventures at least once a month. Check us out at cast-party.com and follow us on Facebook at castpartydnd, Twitter at castparty2, and Instagram at cast_party. On our website, you can also find original artwork of our characters, and we're posting maps, pics, and other background material to give you some visuals to go along with the story. That incredible song you just listened to was the Song of Elturel, and it was performed by Ariana Ferrara Gennari and used by permission, lyrics by M.T. Black. You'll also find a link to our adventures and products on the Dungeon Masters Guild, including the new adventure, The Girl Who Woke the Dead by Tal Aviezer. In Faerun, magical acts of resurrection are reserved for the rich and powerful. Hired priests perform them in rituals, offering diamonds as payments to deities in exchange for power to bring the dead back to life. When a young girl starts performing these miracles for free, will you stop her or will you save her? It's a 3 to 4 hour adventure for 3 to 7 characters of levels 1 to 4. This is a really cool adventure for any low-level party that's looking for a resurrection, which happens a lot at low levels, so definitely check this one out.
Don't mind protecting a friend.
Of course. I take it then that you'll stay and help out a friend, yes?
Of course.
Excellent. Well, make yourselves comfortable. I'm sure we'll see what we'll see soon, yes?
Are there windows on the west side of the room?
Yes, there are.
I'd like to step over and take a look out, see what I'm looking down on.
You look down on the street. It's a sort of dirty, sodden street.
Just want to peer up and down the street, see if I see any people out there.
Make a perception check.
21.
Ooh.
Nice.
That was a nat 20.
Nat 20, absolutely. Renaissance, you look both ways, and you spot, coming down the street, a group of individuals sort of clumped up in an imposing-looking mob. They are all wearing dark colors. At the head of this group of individuals, you see a brawny man who, just coming into view from your dark vision, has one eye is brown, the other eye seems to have like a film over it. And there seems to be some kind of like a scar that makes his mouth look like it's in a permanent sneer.
I describe this person to Tarina, and I say, ring any bells?
She looks and just puts her hand on her face and says, well, shit. I didn't think it would be that soon. Well, I guess you have your work cut out for you, yes? I don't think I could find my way out at this point in time, but, yes, if things come to violence, I expect you, to defend me, of course, yes, if you want the information.
Any other ways down from here, aside from the stairwell where we came up?
Not that I'm aware of.
This room's a bit of a dead end. We might be better off in the gambling room.
Well, I'm sure they're just after me. Whoever you can place in their way might give you a better vantage point, or who knows, maybe some of them might actually want to join in. It's up to you, of course, to make this decision. I don't think you have very much time.
I look around and I say, I don't like the idea of putting other people in harm's way. If something's coming, perhaps we had better face it in here.
I agree.
We have to warn them. We have to warn them to leave.
I'm going to step back out into the gambling room.
Okay.
And I say, sorry, everyone. It's, last call downstairs. Gambling parlor's closing early tonight. Private function.
Okay, make a deception check.
Oh, an 8.
The people in this particular room sort of like stare at you. The old man at the table sort of looks at you, looks at all the rest, then looks back at you and just goes, it's a funny one. The place doesn't close till, I don't know, 1, 2 in the morning. Looks like we're going to sell us a court jester.
What he means by private function is a bunch of people coming in here and killing you. So I would leave if I were you. Save yourselves.
That sours the mood quite a bit.
Yeah. Listen, Scrolldoor. It seems like someone might have been cheating at cards, and some people might be angry about it and looking to do some violence, and I don't want that bald little head of yours getting cracked open. So clear out.
Okay. Make a persuasion check with advantage, specifically because you mentioned his bald head.
A natural 20 for a total of 25.
He grasps his bald pate and says, "Oh, shit!" And then he just grabs what money he has in front of him on the table and just runs down the stairs.
That goes for all of you, please. You're going to get hurt.
The half-orc stands and sort of puts his hand, a large mace, and he says,
Now wait just a second. Who would dare do violence in a place like this would have to go through me first. I've seen my share of shit.
Well, thank you. We'll happily accept your help.
This place is my favorite bar. If they're coming in here intending to fuck the place up, well, they're gonna have to say hello to Mother.
and like you take a look, and inscrawled on the mace, it just has Mom on it.
Amazing.
It doesn't say wow. It says
Well, I mean,
mom.
from your perspective, Corbin, maybe on your side of the room, it says "Wow."
That's appropriate.
Yeah. Wow, Mom. The person who Tarina came to talk to on her way to the dining room, someone who she referred to as Ulrich, starts quickly packing up all of his disparate papers and books and pencils and quills. And he says, oh dear, this is not good. This is not good. Not good. No.
Let me help you, says Ofelia, and she grabs...
No, please don't touch my stuff. Please, it's in a very specific order. Please.
Oh, God.
I say to the priestess, the wise thing to do, sister, might be to find someplace else to finish your evening.
She stares at you with these sort of deep brown eyes and says, you are right. I will find a different place for my nocturnal activities. And then she sort of saunters downstairs.
Corbin would like to flip this table onto its side
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
to make like a little barricade.
Okay. Make an athletics check.
I will help him with that.
Make it with advantage.
17.
17, yeah. With Renaissance help, you both shove and all of the mugs that were on top of it just go spilling out into the floor. The only other person in the room who hasn't even noticed your presence is a halfling who has stayed sitting there with a big grin on her face. You see that she has either makeup or green tattoos just underneath her eyes. She's also wearing a beautiful, flowing, bright green cloak.
Excuse me, miss. It's about to get a little ugly in here, I think.
Oh, yes? Really? How ugly?
like stabby and slashy.
Bloody.
Oh, that's fine.
You sure?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I kind of like it.
I turn around. Is there another halfling?
There is indeed. She is drinking, and she looks... Actually, make a quick perception check on her.
19.
She is clearly drunk.
Right.
She's sort of muttering to herself, and she's just like, "Oh, you guys are really loud. Shit, I don't understand. Where did everybody go?" And she sort of takes a coin and she flips it, and she goes, "Heads!" And she grabs it and she completely misses. And it just goes ting, 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 ting. Ah, shit. And she starts looking for it under the table.
What's your name, miss?
My name? My name is Lala. And she says it like really loudly. Lala Stout.
Lala, I would love to show you a great card trick.
Ooh.
Will you take my hand?
Yeah, sure.
I would like to try to lead her into the back room where Tarina is.
Okay. She's like, "This is a really involved trick."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, see that carpet?
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Lie down.
What?
Lie down under the table.
Under the table?
Don't mess up the magic, Lala.
Super creepy.
This is weird, but I kind of like it. If this is the card trick, I can't wait to see what the payoff is. Okay.
Okay.
We may have to kill Ren after this.
Close your eyes.
Okay. She sort of goes on all fours and starts like crawling under the table, and then she's just like, "Oh, this is weird."
And start slowly counting backwards from 400.
Sure. 400. 399. 398. And as you leave, just like you hear it go, 397.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right. Who's closest to the door? Let's see. That would be Hylan. Hylan, make a perception check, please.
Okay.
That's a 12.
Okay. You're not sure what the voices are saying specifically, but you definitely hear a door sort of slam open rather loudly, and the downstairs area gets rather quiet. And a rather gruff male voice says, you sort of make out every other word,
Looking for friend. Goes by Serena. A glass of ale. Information.
And then you hear a couple of other voices say, I'll take that offer. Ale, I like ale.
They're here, but they don't seem to be in a huge hurry. And I'm just going to stand in this doorway where Tarina is.
We can try to talk our way out of it. Say Tarina had a good run at the tables and called it an early night.
Ofelia, you want to hide behind this table? I can jump them when they come up the stairs if you want.
I don't think we should jump them. I think we should try talking our way out of it.
Won't they be suspicious of the overturned table?
Pretty much it.
Right.
Perhaps if we head them off at the top of the stairs, but I fear that might seem
I don't think we
suspicious
can
as
just
well.
start killing people who haven't actually done anything.
I don't
agree.
want to kill anyone. I just think that the table will look suspicious.
No, I agree. I'd start to pick the table and put it back where it was.
Okay.
Oh, damn it. It was a good plan.
Well, if shit goes sideways, we could just kick the table over again.
I suppose that's true.
You give the table a mighty heave. I'm going to use the same athletics check that you had before. And then you begin to hear footsteps coming up the stairs.
I sit calmly on the bench on my side of the table.
Ofelia picks up one of the mugs off the floor and also sits down at the table on the other side.
I'm going to hide, so I'm going to inch back out of the doorway and just listen.
Hylan, make a stealth check, please, if you're hiding.
It's a 16.
Okay, very cool.
And Corbin is going to try to hide at the top of the stairs, but on the backside.
Okay, Corbin, make a stealth check as well.
And he's wearing armor that gives him disadvantage. So, 7.
All right.
It's actually 17.
Oh, 17. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, a 17. You sort of hold onto your armor underneath your tunic and just like sit down slowly but surely, trying not to make any noise. Okay. Corbin, you're the first person to sort of see these individuals start coming up the stairs. In the lead is this guy who Renascence said he saw, this sort of rather tall, imposing guy who's got a red kerchief bandana and one eye that's clearly just clouded with cataracts. And behind him, one by one, sort of gruff-looking individuals filter up into this
I don't want to judge them by their appearance, but do I know the leader by any chance?
Make a history check.
20. Dirty.
Yeah, I think you kind of do recognize him. This is a guy by the name of Lekard Cadaverous.
That is a great
What
name.
a great name for an
Yeah.
NPC.
Seriously.
Holy crap. Lekard Cadaverous is known to his friends and potentially to his enemies as Deadeye Cadaverous. He's, he's a pirate. He's called Deadeye because, well, his right eye is just clouded with cataracts and it inspires his nickname. You know from others who know of him that he just doesn't like to bathe at all. And as he comes up the stairs, you're directly above him and you get a good whiff of the odor that clearly has inspired these rumors.
I start singing loudly, like I'm a little drunk. In springtime, the only pretty ring time, sweet lovers love the spring.
Ofelia grabs her violin as well and does her best to impromptu accompany him.
Awesome. Ofelia, make a performance check with advantage.
That's a 20, non-natural.
Woohoo!
It's a mellifluous voice issuing forth. Unfortunately, pirates hate music. No, I'm just kidding.
That's absolutely not true.
I'm just totally kidding with you. Unfortunately, they don't join in on the song. They are, after all, on a mission of death and destruction. But they don't immediately launch into an attack against either you or Renascence. Hall Knightley stands up and just hafts his mace and sort of like does the sort of like hit into the hand kind of thing a couple times, and he says,
Now wait a second here. Deadeye, what are you doing in these parts?
Deadeye Cadaverous steps forward into the room and says,
Hall Knightley, haven't seen you in a dog's age. Are these your friends?
and he turns to Ofelia and Renascence. Hall says,
I don't know them from Adam.
Renascence says, Jedi? You mean you don't recognize the famous Elfsong ghost? And I point to Ofelia. Surely you've heard about the singing that goes on here?
Deadeye sort of looks back and forth between you, Renaissance, and you, Ofelia, and says, What? She's no ghost! And he just pokes you, Ofelia.
I say, are you sure? I cast Thaumaturgy, and I make all of the glasses and dice and cards on the tables in here all start to shake and vibrate. I'm afraid you might have offended her, did I?
Ofelia plays a harsh note and glares at him.
I sort of back up like I don't want to be that close to her when she explodes.
I'm going to give either one of you the option to make a deception check.
I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay.
That's a 13.
Okay. Cadaverous sort of looks at you up and down and says,
Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't really think you're the real deal, though. Nice try!
That's a little something for the tourists.
Tourists. I like the way you're thinking, lassie. Now, back to business. The people downstairs, they told me that Tarina's up here somewhere. I'd be much obliged if you could tell me her location so I can slit her motherfucking throat.
If you find her, I'd love to know that myself. Should have said you were looking for Tarina. She were here, it's true. The thing is, and you're not going to believe this, she cheats. So we had a bit of a falling out, I'm afraid.
Pull the other one, she cheats? Holy shit.
Yeah, she took 7 coins off me until I spotted her game, and I might have come on a little strong, and she thought the better of it, and hightailed it out of here. Only missed her by maybe 10 minutes.
That's not what the people downstairs said. They said that...
The people downstairs ain't been playing cards and dice with her for the better part of 4 hours. I have.
Okay. Make either a charisma persuasion check or a charisma deception check. Up to you.
That's a dirty 20 on the persuasion.
Okay. He sort of looks back and forth between his men, who sort of shrug, and you, Renascence, and he says, right. Well, I hope you don't mind, but we'll case the place first, just to make sure.
Sorry, I got a lady in back, you know. She's a little indisposed.
Really? How interesting.
Yeah.
I hear him say that, and I just start taking my clothes off.
Whoa, okay.
Oh my god!
Like, not all of them. Just I start taking, like, I unlace my leather armor, and I got a shoulder down, and I mess my hair up. Try to look trashy.
I say, you know, Patriarch's daughter, sort of out slumming, looking for a thrill. Wouldn't want her parents to know she was out with the likes of me.
The halfling underneath the table goes, 432? Holy shit! There's some naked people in here. This is awesome!
I'm gonna throw my cloak to Tarina and tell her to get under it and get under the table. I'm like just gesturing.
Actually,
Get under the table.
it's kind of a group thing. Patriarch's daughter and a halfling. I'm into that.
Okay, so I'm gonna lean out the side of the door with my bare shoulder showing, and I'm just gonna go, I'm not gonna wait forever.
Oh my god, this is amazing. I'm gonna have Cadaverous roll insight on this. His insight's not great, but let's see what happens. Yeah, he rolled a 13. I'm gonna go ahead and say that is a failure. Cadaverous is like, well, I'm just going to go in the other rooms then, excuse me for 1 second. And then he opens the door to this room to the north. Do your business and be over with it, for God's sake.
Would you like to hear a song? Ophelia says to the bandit.
The bandits just sort of look at each other like, I like songs, but I think I've come on the clock.
Any requests?
I do like a good sea shanty, but I mean, Cadaverous would have my head if I started singing without him. Cadaverous opens the door to this room and goes inside, and you hear a voice go, and Davros just runs out of the room. He goes, "It's a hooligan! It's a fucking hooligan!" And then he shuts the door. Oh shit. This is not good. Yeah, I didn't realize that this hooligan could do that. Oh, that was gross. She was molting or something, I don't know.
I say, yeah, listen, there's sort of a lot of, private affairs going on up here. I can assure you Tarina's gone. Before you go upsetting any more of the guests, maybe you should just, have a look around downstairs, maybe a drink for your men. I'll tell you what, have a round on me. I will flip him a gold coin.
Okay. He catches the gold coin, and he says, "Well, that's mighty kind of you, but I still can't find Tarina. She killed my captain, and when she kills your captain, you kind of..."
I snap my fingers, and I say, do you know what? I think she mentioned she was headed to the Low Lantern. Yeah, that's right. She said plenty of suckers at the Low Lantern.
The Low Lantern? She's never been to the Low Lantern before, I know that.
Well, they wouldn't know her there. So that's like fertile ground.
Make a deception check, Renascence.
It's a straight 13.
Okay. Cadaver sort of looks at you, Ofelia, and then looks at Renascence and says, "Wait a second."
I just yelled from the other room, "While we're drunk, Ren!"
Cadaverous sort of makes he puts his this is fantastic. I love this so much. He puts his second finger in his pinky into his mouth and makes a sharp whistle, and the bandits sort of converge a little bit towards him.
I hear the whistle and putting all my stuff back on.
Okay. One bandit sort of stands next to the table. The other stands next to the other table. One stands by the stairwell, and one stands next to you, Ofelia, and just sort of like looks at you lasciviously.
Ew.
Corbin, as you sit in the corner of the room, the halfling with the brilliant green cloak on stands up and she's like, "Oh boy, looks like we're gonna start something." And she starts to sort of move her hands around in what you can assume to be some kind of magical gesture. And Deadeye comes up face to face with you. How tall are you, Renascence?
Renascence is about 6'3".
Okay. Deadeye's just a little shorter than you. He's 6'1", but he's broad. And he has his hand slowly moving to his scimitar on the left side of his belt. And he says, "I'd be greatly appreciative if you wouldn't mind moving out of the way."
Both of my eyes turn completely jet black with no pupils and irises, and I say, "Last call, Deadeye. Could still head for the lowlands and with all your bits and pieces, or we can do this the hard way."
Make an intimidation check.
I got a 12.
Oh boy.
Shit.
He says, "I'll be the one around here telling people when's the last call." And he draws his scimitar. He says,
draw my
"Now
longsword."
move." All right, let's roll initiative.
Woohoo!
Ren, you have advantage. Remember?
That's right, thank you.
Oh boy, I wish I did.
Well, I'm slow as shit, so it's good that I have it. 13.
20.
Awesome.
Hylan got a 9.
Okay.
Wow, Corbin got a 21.
All right. I'm just going to say Lala is unfortunately a drunk non-combatant.
Can she roll every turn to see what number she's able to count to?
Okay. We have the turn order. It is up. Corbin, go for it.
Corbin is going to, has anybody seen him yet?
What did you roll for your stealth? I think it was a
17.
You're not sure.
All right, I'm not going to take the chance. There's 3 bandits towards the back of the room, and Corbin's going to cast a sleep spell in between the 3 of them.
Okay.
28 points.
Okay. You cast the spell, and a burst of bluish smoke appears in the middle of the room and goes out in a circular arc. And one of them says, "I like music already." Falls asleep. The other one just sits down at the table. Says, "Oh, it's a good place to rest. I think I'll just have."
So the two in the middle of the room near the table fall asleep?
That's correct. And the one by the staircase, just across from you, does not.
Then I would like to... actually, I'm just going to stay where I am.
Okay. Moving on. Seeing violence, the half-orc charges Deadeye from the back with his mace.
I don't like your face!
And he tries to hit him twice. He misses with the first one with a natural 1, but is able to hit with the second one. Hall Knightley sort of like swings, and maybe the growl of fury alerted Deadeye, and he just ducks under the mace as it swings. He back spins and comes around for a second attack, and this one connects for 4 bludgeoning damage. And now it is Ophelia's turn. Go, Ophelia.
Ofelia still has her violin out, and she begins to play sort of a jeering sounding tune, like the sort that one might hear if one was an adult doing a playground taunt. And she says, "Deadeye, you think you're so tough? I bet you're all talk." And I cast Vicious Mockery. That's going to be a DC 13 Wisdom save.
Okay, he got a 16 on his wisdom save, unfortunately.
Oh. Well, nothing happens. Maybe he feels a little bad. I don't know.
Anything else, Ofelia?
Yeah, that's it for me. You know what? It's not. Ofelia will make her way a little closer to the stairs and a little bit closer to Corbin.
Okay, very cool. Renascence, it's your turn.
Don't nobody hold anything back. Give them both barrels or we ain't getting out alive. And my longsword flashes into my hand and I drive it towards Deadeye's ribs.
Go for it.
This will be with advantage because I am flanking. And I got a 13.
Unfortunately, a 13 will not hit. You swing at him with your longsword and he deftly dodges out of the way.
That's all I got.
Okay. The pirates that are not asleep open up. The one across from you on the stairs, Corbin, pulls from his back a light crossbow and fires it at you. Clearly, your stealth was not enough for you not to be seen. He got a 15 on the roll.
Yeah, that's going to bounce off my
Awesome.
shield.
He curses under his breath. The two bandits nearest to you, Renascence, will circle around the table, and this one will attack you, and then the other one will attack Hall. Therefore, because he is also flanking, he will have advantage on his attacks against Hall. He got a 20 non-natural, which will do 5 slashing damage on Hall. Hall takes the hit and goes,
Is that all you got?
and then the other pirate will attack you with his scimitar, and that is a 16.
I do manage to dodge out of the way of that.
Excellent. Okay. Hylan, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to move into the open doorway of the anteroom where I've been hiding behind Renascence. And I'm just going to say, duck to Renascence. And I'm going to shoot Deadeye with my short bow.
Okay.
I'm going to fail to shoot Deadeye with my short bow with a 9.
Yes, unfortunately, maybe Renascence is just too large of a presence in the doorway, and your arrow goes off to the side and lodges itself in the stairwell right next to you, Ofelia.
Okay, and then I'm going to just roll back sideways out of the doorway.
Okay. Tarina looks at you, Hylan, and says, "Ah, shit! What do we do? They're here! Looks like they're killing everybody! Do I just jump out the window?"
No, why don't you stay and help us?
Tarina pulls from her pack a small hand crossbow,
Perfect.
runs to the door, sees Renascence in the way, and she says, "Oh, shit!" and then fires a single bolt at Deadeye. Deadeye, seeing Tarina, goes, "There you are, dearie! I knew you were in there!" And then she shoots him, or attempts to do so, in the face. And misses with a 7.
Oh, boy.
Help me! Help me! You said you were gonna help me!
Get out of the doorway.
She runs out of the doorway and attempts to hide under the table. Under the table, of course, is our friend Lala, who's just going, "Hi there! You're here too!"
I say keep counting, Lala.
231. Oh shit, I'm dying. I'm dead right here. These are the last minutes of my life. In the corner, next to you, Corbin, this halfling stands up and picks up off the floor next to her a rather large, knotted club that's probably about the size, well, of her. And she says, "I've been waiting for this all night." And then she says a word in a language you do not know and just screams at the top of her lungs and touches the club, which glows with a green light. At which point, she will run to the other side of the bandit and, seeing him completely distracted, will smash him in the back of the head with her magically infused club. And got a 17, doing 8 bludgeoning damage, hitting him square in the back of the head. And now we are back to Corbin.
Corbin is going to, since he's been spotted, run out into the middle of the room between the 2 sleeping bandits and the one jerk at the top of the stairs who shot at him, and Corbin is going to reach out and stab him with his short sword. Come on. That would be an
18 will absolutely hit. How much damage do you do?
6 points of piercing
You
damage.
take hey, it's the long arm of the law with you. You take your giant, hairy arms and stretch across the room like Stretch Armstrong and stab this guy right in the gut with your short sword. And he goes, "Oh, bloody bugbear!"
Run now before Ilmota meets you in the afterworld. And that's my
All
turn.
right, he spits on the ground and looks like he wants some more.
All right, bring it.
This guy, then Hall, the half-orc in between a rock and a hard place, will turn back towards the bandit that has been beaten about the head and shoulders by an unlikely ally. Will attempt to use Mom on this pirate. Hitting him with a 23.
Ooh.
Doing 5 bludgeoning damage and knocking him to the ground. And as he falls, you just see his head just explode from the back in a haze of red. And he does not move. He then uses his second attack to whirl around and smash Deadeye in the back of the head as well. And misses with a 13. That is Hall's turn. Ophelia, you're up.
Okay, Ophelia runs after the bandit by the stairs and attempts to stab him with her rapier. Rolled a 9.
A 9, unfortunately, will miss. The bandit drops to his knees and just, it whistles over his head. All right, Renascence.
Let's try that again, did I? I swing at him again with my longsword. And, no, it's with advantage, so it's a 15.
A 15 will hit, but just
thank God.
barely.
And it was a one-handed swing, so I do 7 points of slashing damage.
You take that long sword and put it in Deadeye's side, and you hear the crunch of bones, and Deadeye clutches his right side. You're gonna pay for that!
Somebody is.
All right. Anything else, Renascence?
That's it for me.
Okay. The remaining bandits will attempt to swing at you. And when did that?
Suspense is killing me.
That is a 20, non-natural.
Oh, well, that's gonna hit.
That's 7 slashing damage.
Oh no.
Ophelia, giant wound opens up on her side, and she clutches it in agony, screaming.
Bandit, who also has red coming out of his mouth, goes, "You don't like it, do you?"
I don't like it.
The bandit next to you, Renascence, will attempt to shove you to the wall. So
Yep.
this will be a contested strength athletics check.
Reticence got a 19 to try to hold his ground.
He got a 16, so not enough. So the bandit just grabs you by both shoulders and attempts to shove you, and you just stiffen up. Again, with the stiffen. Why do I fucking keep saying stiffen? You muscle him back and are unmoved.
I say, listen, sunshine, I like you, but I'm not in like with you.
Deadeye says, "I like that. When you're dead, I'm going to be stealing that one from you." And then he swings at you. He pulls out from his other side of his belt a wicked-looking dagger. And so he's got a scimitar in one hand and a dagger in the other hand. And he's going to make 3 attacks on you, Rests. 2 with his scimitar and 1 with his dagger.
No shite.
The first attack is an 11.
No, I dodge out of the way of that.
The second attack is a 7.
I dodge to the left and then to the right.
And then he will make a stab at you with his dagger. And again, gets a 7.
Yes.
And this time I just sort of get my sword and parry the dagger out of the way.
He's flustered.
I'm flustered. All right. Hylan, you're up.
Hey, I'm gonna go back into the doorway behind Renascence, and I'm gonna say, "Looks like your dance card is full. Duck." And then I'm gonna shoot at Deadeye with my short bow again.
Okay.
Yes, I got a 22.
Oh, yeah, absolute. That will hit.
Okay.
Tell me how much damage you do.
I do 8 piercing and 3 with my sneak attack, so 11 total.
Oh, yeah. Big shot right to his midsection. Clearly, Renascence did a very, very big duck in allowing you full view of his entire body, and you just fire almost point blank right at him, and the arrow just goes straight into his gut.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wink and go back around the corner again.
Okay, very good. Tarina, seeing that the tide may be turning in her favor, sort of calls out to you. Hylan says, did you get him? Did you get him?
Yes, I did.
Should I help?
Absolutely.
Awesome. She crawls out, stands up using half of her movement, and then fires her hand crossbow at Deadeye as well. And she says, duck, and fires. 17, she fires, and the bolt whistles through the air, Renascence. You feel it go right past your ear. At the last second, Deadeye raises his dagger and parries the arrow out of the air.
Ooh, nice.
And Tarina says, fuck!
And then I say again, get out of the doorway.
Yep. Table, and she just dives for the table. Hey, you're back. What's up? I'm at the 200 mark. Is it cool? I don't know how I went from 231 to 200 in like 6 seconds, but I think let's just keep going. The halfling, who is just spouting all kinds of stuff in a language that none of you know, is just moving in, and she sort of sidles under the table to the other side, just crawling under the table, and then slams this pirate in the face with her magical quarterstaff. And hits with a 13, doing 3 bludgeoning damage. That is the end of her turn. Corbin, you're up.
All right, Corbin is going to run around Ofelia all the way to the bandit at the top of the stairs, and then he is going to use all his strength to push this bandit down the stairs.
Okay, we're going to make a contested strength check. Athletics.
Athletic.
You got a 15, so he sees you coming and is just able to hold on to the banisters, and although you push him and you give him a mighty bugbear shove, he just holds on tightly. You hear from down on the first floor, you just hear everybody just like, oh god, there's violence upstairs! Get out! Everybody get out!
Corbin is going to look at him and say, fight me, bandit!
And he looks at you with a murderous gleam in his eye.
This episode features Matt Gordon as the amazing DM, with Tal Aviezer as Renascence, Carolyn Fox as Hylan, Rachel Tamarin as Ofelia, and me, Andy Cannistra, as everyone's favorite bugbear cleric, Painbearer Corbin Shiv. This episode was edited by Carolyn Fox, and our theme music is by Lauren Anker and Anthony DiMasso. If you enjoy Podcast Party Descent into Avernus, please subscribe to the show, rate us, leave us a review. We're doing this as a labor of love, and it really helps us out a lot. Oh, and I hear our characters are going to hell soon. Not really sure what that means. Doesn't sound good. We'd love to hear from you. Message us on social media or email us at info@cast-party.com. Thanks so much for listening. Oh, wait. I forgot to give you Tal's number. I know I have it here. It's 91253.
Oh, sing a song.